RPGs date back to the humble days of pen and paper games, where dice rolls determine your fate. Once computers started becoming more widely available, translating all those character sheets and dice rolls into a digital format to automate those processes, RPGs took on a new life. These were among the first games ever made, and as technology has advanced, good RPG games have become almost synonymous with PC platforms. Even as the genre itself has expanded to include action RPGs, turn-based MMO, and more, the PC has always been the best place to enjoy the deepest, more advanced games that other platforms can just support. So, here in this video, we will discuss about best RPG games on PC in 2022. But before starting the video, be sure to smash the like button and subscribe to never miss out on any of our videos. 10. Dark Souls 3. With Dark Souls 3, developer From Software returned to the Souls series after crafting the eldritch madness that is the PlayStation 4 exclusive Bloodborne. In fact, Dark Souls 3 borrows gameplay and design elements from Bloodborne and other From Software action RPG titles. As a result, Dark Souls 3 has an action-focused flavor and gorgeous haunting graphics. That said, Dark Souls 3 has its own feel, particularly when it comes to battling monsters, and improved combat mechanics and more fighting depth, making the skirmishes more challenging and rewarding. 9. Disco Elysium: The Final Cut. If you don't think video games should have politics, don't play Disco Elysium: The Final Cut. If you don't think games should aspire to say something, this detective RPG isn't the game for you. That's not to say the game is a manifesto. The way it cynically, yet thoughtfully criticizes a range of ideologies reveals the game's politics aren't nearly as narrow as you might expect. But this isn't wishy-washy centrism. Disco Elysium's sympathies ultimately lie with working people and movements that center their best interests. Despite asking you to play as cops on the other hand of the equation, the brilliant role-playing mechanics and richly realized world would be impressive no matter the story. But Disco Elysium's beating, thematic heart makes it the best PC game you can play at this moment in history. 8. Divinity Original Sin 2. This superb RPG takes you to a rich fantasy world filled with complex politics, personal stories, unique races, and rich combat. Don't be deterred by the 2 in the title, despite taking place in the same universe as the first game. It sets 1,000 years into the future as a standalone story. Combat in turn-based, but it features robust, nuanced mechanics. Environments play a key factor in the attacks and spells you cast, as they can hinder or radically amplify attacks. Electrical attacks react violently in the presence of water, for example, but beyond these interactions, spells and effects can react with one another as well, resulting in some devastating and fascinating combos. 7. South Park: The Fractured But Whole. The sequel to The Stick of Truth, The Fractured But Whole, is a turn-based RPG filled with South Park's topical, highly satirical, and utterly absurd comedy. It's a refreshing RPG, if only because the gameplay, adult language, ridiculous scenarios, and show references will keep fans of the show smiling until the end. Fractured slips up once in a while. The superhero-themed exploration elements utilize some highly tedious menu switching and QuickTime event mechanics, and the game is surprisingly buggy. However, if you can look past these issues, you're in for an enjoyable time. 6. Yazuka: Like a Dragon. Sega's Yazuka franchise is the spiritual successor to 2 of the publisher's beloved series, Shenmue and Streets of Rage. Like Shenmue, Yazuka lets you explore and live in a virtual Japan where you can eat authentic Japanese meals, play classic card games, and aid fellow citizens. Like Streets of Rage, Yazuka sees you knuckle up roving bands of street thugs. Traditionally, the Yazuka series has successfully married both game design's philosophies, but with the series featuring 6 mainline entries, many people wondered how the franchise would evolve. Enter Yazuka: Like a Dragon. The newest series entry takes the basic Yazuka beat-em-up formula and gives it a welcome Japanese role-playing game JRPG shake-up. Despite the genre change, the PC game is excellent. 5. Mass Effect: Legendary Edition. This epic trilogy takes you on an intergalactic journey to stop an alien threat from eradicating all known life. Remastered visuals and rebalanced gameplay makes the series as accessible as it's ever been. So if you missed the boat the first time around, the Legacy Edition is the perfect way to catch up. The Mass Effect games are third-person shooters, with a liberal dose of space magic to spice up the action. You have various telekinetic and abilities to complement your gunplay, such as firing shockwaves from your hands or physically lifting your target from the ground to make it easy target practice. Aside from action, your decision and dialogue choices shape how the titles unfold, often leading to significant changes between games that foster friendships and betrayals. 4. Monster Hunter World. Even the most die-hard Monster Hunter fans admit that there's a certain level of gameplay jank that you must overlook in order to enjoy the creature-slaying series, a jankiness that has turned many people away. With Monster Hunter World, developer Capcom overhauled animations, streamlined gameplay, and made numerous adjustments designed to appeal to core and casual audiences alike. The changes work big time, tackling and battling huge snarling beasts with a variety of crafted armor and weaponry is an absolute joy, especially while doing so with friends in multiplayer mode. 3. Neo Complete Edition. Neo represents developer Team Ninja's first action RPG, and the game shares a few superficial similarities with From Software's influential Dark Souls series. The player-summoning cooperative gameplay, corpse run death system, shortcut-rich levels, and enemy respawning checkpoints will all feel familiar to Dark Souls aficionados. However, Neo is very much its own beast, and it's filled with highly technical action and stronger narrative elements than the Soul titles. This complete edition includes the original console game, as well as all of the DLC content, so newcomers have dozens of hours of action to master. 2. Path of Exile. Path of Exile is a massive, lengthy action RPG that borrows heavily from the Diablo series. With its randomly generated dungeons and items, the click-heavy combat, serious inventory management, dark fantasy atmosphere, and monster-eradicating early missions should feel familiar to Diablo fans. Fortunately, the massive skill tree system gives you limitless potential to work towards. Sure, you can work towards a build if you scour the community for suggestions, or you can plow through it yourself and create whatever type of warrior you want. Run through dungeons, amass gear and abilities that synergize with your build. Craft what you need, then dive back into another adventure to earn more loot. Path of Exile shakes up the meta every few months, so you can enjoy a near-endless endgame. 1. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt is the final installment in CD Projekt Red's action RPG series. In Wild Hunt, Geralt of Rivia slays mythological monsters, collects bounties, and protects the Child of Destiny. Developer CD Projekt Red builds upon the preceding Witcher game by introducing a ridiculously large open world filled with evil of both the monster and human varieties. Witcher 3 also greatly improves the series' combat by streamlining alchemy and tightening crafting. The Wild Hunt's rich narrative, one of the best stories in video game history, drive the game's tragedy, folkloric horror, humor, and intrigue. That was all about best RPG games on PC in 2022. Thank you guys for watching. If you want more videos like this, make sure to like the video and hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you in the next video.